Hello, welcome in. I am Lisa J. Stocks here with this Sunday Stock Talk episode. So it is um, Financial Awareness Month, but I am not even in a place where I think anyone wants me to talk about those regular topics that I planned on covering during this time. So, on this channel, we talk all things investing, saving, staying out of debt, repairing our credit, all things like that. So, if this is something that you are working on and interested in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. But as I was saying, it's Financial Awareness Month, but I know everyone is just so overwhelmed with everything that is going on with these tariffs. So for now, for this Sunday episode, I'm going to be continuing to talk about that. So thank you, Sheed and Blessed Life, for tuning in. Please make sure to give the video a thumbs up as you come in. So the U.S. and China trade tensions continue. We are a couple of days past now of Liberation Day. And Liberation Day was the middle of last week. And that was the day that President Trump announced significant tariffs on countries like China and what they are importing over to us. And this day and what he is trying to do is aiming to reduce the U.S. reliance on foreign-made goods. But the administration believes these tariffs will boost domestic manufacturing and protect the nation. But what happens with that is we have to suffer the consequences. I had two people in my comments recently, and I've heard these words used when I was watching the news also, of this was done on purpose. It's like everyone is traumatized right now seeing what's going on with the stock market, and some are older in a different stage of life, very stressed out because they don't have time for the recovery, and we just don't know how long all of this is going to take. It's very hard seeing your portfolio going down. I'm there with you. I've looked at all of my portfolios. I do that all the time anyways, but I didn't go through and add up all of the losses, one by one. The smaller portfolios are down, thousands. The larger portfolio is down tens of thousands, but I'm hanging in there and I see the big picture, and I am going to continue to invest because I have to pick and choose and make my decisions on where the opportunities are in the situation that we are going through. So, guys, feel free to drop any comments. I just have a little bit of notes that I'm going to run through, but I definitely will be taking a look at what you guys are sharing and try to touch on any questions that you have. So, let's see. So yes, we are now past Liberation Day, and the markets went down dramatically on Thursday and continued on that trend on Friday, even harder. So this is a look at the heat map, and you see we should be seeing some green in there. There barely isn't any. And I know I'm on vertical, so it'll be hard to see. But overall, I see one little speck of green down here, just a few. And one of them happens to be Target, which was surprising to me. Let's see. Target is actually ended the week up 1.53%. But most of the tech stocks, as well as those ETFs that are the foundations of my portfolio, are significantly down on the day. As we ended the week on Friday, down another 5.83%. Over the week, down 8.14%. Year to date, 14.26%. And this is VTI, the total US stock market that I'm using for an example right now. Hold on one second. Um, okay, okay. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a message that my sound is not too good. Guys, let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. So, yes, we are past Liberation Day. All of this is leading to all of this uncertainty and drama in the stock market. So, with this, what Trump has put into place, it has caused China to retaliate, and their immediate response was imposed by adding a 34% tariff on all US goods, and that's going to be effective on April the 10th. So that's going to affect billions worth of exports that the US is currently making. And this whole situation, it had me thinking about years ago on Survivor. There were some contestants that would create alliances. Now, there's only going to be one winner on Survivor if you're familiar with that show, but at the same time, some of the contestants created alliances just to give each other, just to work together while they were in the game in order to further their positions against the other contestants. And it has me wondering if that's what's going on with the other countries around the world. Are they trying to talk to each other to figure out how they can go about doing whatever they can in order to help to get this situation in a better place? Maybe kind of, this is all trade wars that it's leading to, but how are they going to have any advantage in order to get through this situation with what the US is currently creating? So it seems that there's no chance of any postponements going on in order to further negotiations and improve anything. If what we are hearing from the White House is correct, all of the tariffs will be going forward. So let me see. Let me take a quick second to say thank you to DT Hope Channel for that super chat. I appreciate that. And let me continue with the market's reaction. So following this announcement, I just showed you, for example, what went on with VTI, but this drop across the board on the stock market reflects the investors' concerns over the escalating trade tensions that are going to come about. The tech sector has been hit especially hard. Companies heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing, such as Apple and Tesla, continue to see significant declines. So Apple, especially, I've seen some examples that people have been posting saying that potentially, iPhone could be $2,500 to $3,000, depending on the circumstances and it having to be manufacturing here. So Apple most likely is not going to be able to absorb that cost. Us as the consumers, when we're ready to upgrade or in need of our next phone, how are we going to be able to pay these prices? These are the concerns that everyone has right now. So let me see what else. Apple's performance. Yes, their shares were down at the end of the week. Let's see how we ended the week. On Friday, down 7.29% on the day. So currently Apple's price is $188. All of the big names are significantly down. Meta, $504. Nvidia was about $92, $94. So yes, my portfolio, it's taking a hard hit, but I'm thinking about the future at the same time. I'm still not in the red on my overall positions, but two of my long-term positions are actually in the red, and I was surprised that it's actually there already. It was really disappointing to see. and that is Meta and NVIDIA. And those are both positions that I added into my portfolio in 2024. But everything else, thankfully, I am still in profit. I think Amazon might be doing the best, where I'm still, let's see, still at least up 25%. But yeah, I know we're all feeling it, especially in our larger retirement accounts and what's going on. Am I frozen, guys? Let me know if you're able to hear me and see me still. Great. Let me see. Is it you got this, Lisa? Can you hear me and see me, guys? That is my concern right now. Okay. I don't know. I might have to check in my household and see, because I don't see anything in the chat. Guys, let me know if it's back now. I'll turn off my icon so you don't have to. I'll try to turn off my icon if you guys are looking at a weird frozen picture of me. You hear me? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Frozen, but you can hear me. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks. I'm going to keep going. If I'm frozen, I will try to turn off my camera and for a little bit. But yes, this is what is on my mind. I didn't know if I could just talk about some regular topic. As I said at the beginning of the show, it's Financial Awareness Month. And if you are new to investing, this is a hard time to start learning and trying to be in the market and just deal with what is going on. It's a very rough time. And, depending on your age and where you are in your investing journey, you may not remember the hard times. You may not remember the pullbacks that we had in the S&P 500 back in the 80s or even 2008, depending where you were in your stage of planning and retirement and investing. So let's see. So supply chain disruptions, the tariffs are causing companies to reconsider and potentially leading to higher operational costs. Whatever the costs are going to be, I know that if it was me, I could not absorb the cost. So I understand that these companies are going to have to do the same. They are in a business. They are striving to make money. And this situation is just bringing about so much stress and uncertainty. And I know, this is the US. We have standards. We have minimum wage. I saw in the news recently that some Wendy's locations, their starting pay is $20 an hour. Costco's $31. I know those are not manufacturing jobs, but they're just headlines that I've seen recently in the news. And we have to realize that for something to be manufactured in the US, our workers are paid significantly more than in other countries. And this is why this situation has come about, where we are heavily reliant on goods being imported. So, hey, Nora, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, a brother of a certain age. David, everyone for letting me know. Fast Eddie. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments or thoughts on how you are planning to, how is your portfolio doing? How are you hanging in there? So this is just, we've been through hard times before. Of course, we all, I would say everyone here is definitely the most recent huge event. We went through COVID. We saw how the stock market was in 2022, but this is really rough. I don't have any open options right now, Nora, but definitely open to it, as well as what was it? I can't think of the ticker, but investments, ETFs that track in that way also. Have you been buying? Eddie, I have been buying, but I definitely am making a plan of investing a few $1,000s over the next couple of weeks. I don't know if it's all going to be literally this week or if I'm going to go a little slow and see if it continues to pull back. But I definitely have a shopping list that I'm going to be working on tonight, because tomorrow might be the start of a new investment of as I said, a few $1,000s, SCHD, as well as my other ETFs that I've been working on long term, and those individual stocks also. So, hey, Rod, thanks for tuning in. And yes, definitely when I check on my mentors that I follow for trade ideas, I will be most likely doing put options or following what they're sharing this week. Amazon is looking amazing. Amazon, I was sharing, I don't know if you were in the chat yet, Nora. I was saying that Amazon, as my individual stocks in my growth portfolio, Amazon is holding up the best right as of right now. But my Meta and Nvidia have gone red. So, but all of them, I see the opportunity for still being able to build up. And Rod, investing with Rod, I was just thinking about you earlier, because I made a short over a conversation from a conversation that we had some months ago. And I think at that time, I wanted to get some NVIDIA at, I think it was $103, and then it had dipped down into like the high 90s, maybe 98, 99. And we had both bought it at that price. Back then we didn't think it would go lower. And now, then it went back up to 140s, up into the high 140s. And now we are at, in the after hours, it's $92.60. So I saw it as an opportunity then, and I still do now. So let's take a look. What else do I have here? Market volatility. The ongoing trade war contributes to market uncertainty. Yes, it's all the same stuff that I've been going over week after week, but I just figured that I should continue to just share how I'm feeling, what I'm doing, just let you guys know that I understand, I feel the pain. And like I was saying earlier, on my larger accounts, yes, I am down tens of thousands of dollars. And I just have to think about the big picture. It's retirement is not it's not tomorrow for me. So I just have to hold on. All of these losses are unrealized, and for me, I'm in the building phase, and there's no reason that there's things that I should cut from my portfolio due to the current situation. I'm just going to give it time for all of this to get figured out. I have no idea how long that will take, but I'm here as a long-term investor on these positions. But as Nora touched on, I am also a trader. So if there are trades that are available and I have the budget to do them, I definitely keep money in my Webull account is where I do all of my options trading. So I always have extra cash sitting there, but I am going to be putting in more there, as well as Fidelity for the long-term holds that I'm trying to make sure to take advantage of. So Nora, let me know, are you doing a mix of the same? Or are you just concentrating on making money from the put options, or are you going to be investing for buy and hold for the long term for retirement or other things that you have going on. So I see some conversation going on here about Berkshire B with all the cash they have could look good. Okay, that's Eddie. Rod said he's going to be loading up on it also. Thank you, Rob. Rob and Rod are in the chat. Thank you guys both for tuning in. So I also saw in the headlines, not on a serious note here, but TikTok's position amidst the trade negotiations, the president had time to sign a deal for an extension of an additional 75 days so that they can continue to negotiate that situation going on with potentially finding, I guess, an outside buyer for TikTok. But for those of you that were devastated when TikTok went down for that day, I guess that's news that you were interested in hearing about. So a brother of a certain age is sharing that his 403B is down $25,000. I'm in the same boat with you. Just my FXAIX position is down over $20,000. So, but I'm gonna keep on sharing. I'm gonna do another update, as I've been saying since the start of this month, and even my eyes are even more open to it now as we got to the end of last week, as we passed Liberation Day. I'm still gonna share my portfolio, the certain positions that I've been sharing with you all along. I'm gonna keep on sharing. And yes, my FXAIX position was $150,000. It was right on my thumbnail in January, but yes, it's going to be drastically different when the next time rolls around, which probably will be this week. Not sure exactly what day the dividends hit the portfolio. If David's in the chat, he might know. David is so good about knowing. It's Apple Dividend Day. It's Realty Income. Is it going to come on Friday or Monday? He'll be asking me, and I'm like, I don't know. That is your thing. David is good at that. David always teases me. I think everybody teases me about. I'm the one that's always talking about expense ratios. Don't be eaten up by fees and expense ratios. So that is the main topic of what I wanted to cover today. Just letting you know, I'm not letting this tariff situation turn me off to investing. It is very stressful. I'm in the same boat as you guys, and the retaliation that we've already seen with this, what did I say, 34% tariff coming from China, and then who knows what these other countries may be planning on doing. It's very significant, and we're doing it, and they're going to retaliate with their reciprocal. This is what's leading to the trade wars. So investors should make a plan and stick to it. And I know it's hard with this situation, but I'm not going to stop investing. I know the power of investing, and if I took on this attitude of turning my back on investing back in 2008 or at the beginning of the pandemic, I would be nowhere as far as I am on my investing journey and being able to build up the positions that I have over the last couple of decades, never mind the last 5 years, when I've had my eyes open and more focused on making sure that all of our money, whether it's in savings or investments, is working as hard as it can, is well positioned, is growing at a good rate I have to set a standard, a bar of what is acceptable. Now, that is completely out of the window right now with the, the S&P being negative on the year, but I'm thinking about the future. This is not the first year that this has happened. There have been 3 years in a row with a negative return on the S&P, for example. But what always happens, it's going to recover, and that's what I'm holding on for. And thankfully, like I said, I don't need my investments, so I'm not going to sell anything at a loss. I'm gonna just hold tight and just get through this. So guys, if you haven't already, make sure to give the live a thumbs up. And yeah, I'm just going to take a look through the chat now and see if anybody has any questions. Please feel free to share any comments or questions that you have. Any video requests? Okay, so what is David saying? Most of my FXAIX is in my 401k. I'm not sure when the dividends hit. Okay. You're only good for the taxable accounts on those dates. And David, you're live. I think you did your live even 15 minutes later than usual. I'm a night owl, but I get a little sleepy when your live comes on. Thank you for checking on that if you are able to. Okay, so let's see. I don't see any questions in the chat. Thank you, Joe, for tuning in. Thank you for all the members and moderators that are here with us today. Okay, so Jordan is saying, is now the time to pull back contributions to employee stock program or double down? You're working for a US-based company that imports Mexican products. Oh, that's a very specific situation. I can tell you exactly. Let me think. A US company that imports Mexican products. So you're going to be hit hard. And that's an all. Do you? I would more. I don't know. How has the performance been? Is this something? Do you have other you have other avenues of retirement investing outside of the stock back program? That might be something to definitely connect with you if you do have Fidelity or Charles Schwab or someone that you can talk to. I'm not about I understand the importance of a financial advisor, but I'll tell you, when I reach out to Fidelity with my questions and issues, I've always been able to get assistance, go there in person, and get guidance on things and direction that I needed without having to pay. So I would consider reaching out to them if your company stock program is paired with something like that. Maybe they can give you some guidelines or some guidance on that direction, because our Mexico and China are pretty high on the list of, and Canada even. The list is long. I shared it in one of my videos. Taiwan. It seems like there are many areas that are going to be heavily impacted, and I don't know when that'll turn around. I don't know that you want to continue putting into that right now. So your stock is down 30%. I'm diversified, so I'm okay. So you're putting in more. Okay. It sounds like you. Okay. All right, Jordan. Well, thanks for sharing that. let me go back to what the one was saying. I see a brother of a certain age is responding. Oh, okay. So my portfolios are down $200,000, but remember, you don't lose money unless you sell. Exactly. I have been here before, and always when the market recovers, I came out way better than before. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, the one. I agree with you, and I'm glad that I've never stopped investing in my 401k. Even my last pregnancy, I was home for, I would say, about 6 months in total, and I would say that was one of the last times that I was like, I'm gonna stop contributing, because I was on partial uh, short-term disability. It wasn't my full pay, but even through that, I held on to continue with my retirement contribution, and I'm glad that there hasn't been any long periods of time that I had to take off from investing. Especially, I said a couple weeks ago, I actually would encourage people to consider, if you can, even if it's not permanent, investing more into your retirement account now, upping it a percentage. If you usually do that at a certain time of year or on your birthday or whatever, if you might want to consider doing that now. And I know it's hard. Your portfolio's already beaten down, but just something to think about, of another place where you can invest more now while the opportunity is here, and then maybe go back to your regular. But I know that's hard. It's hard for me to be saying this when we are in this situation when everything is going to be impacted. The most basic things I'm thinking about, how much is my cup of coffee going to cost? Because, my coffee, where does my coffee beans come from? Colombia? Where is my cat litter manufactured? I don't know where all of the components of everything I need around my house comes from. And just thinking of the world and everything that is going to be impacted by this whole tariff and all of this trade war situation. I understand the thought of wanting just the dust to settle and have an understanding before you invest too heavily. But I'm torn with it myself, but I'm trying to come up with a plan. And when I think back to the pandemic, I was newer to the company that I was working at. And so I was scared. We had never been through this situation. I was working 100% from home, but I was scared that if anything does happen, if we get laid off, if the company, I don't know, leaves the state, I didn't know what could happen. So I didn't invest as much as I wish I had. And in retrospect, I've shared this before. If you've been here before, I wish I had invested more heavily in that early stage of what we were going on, maybe around the summertime when we were in lockdown, because worst case scenario, I could have sold my investments, and I didn't think about it in that way. I said, let me hold on to cash instead of investing more heavily. And I never had any disruption with my job. And so I if I could go back, I would have done things differently. Okay. All right. So let me take a look here.
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate it.
So thank you to DT Hope as well as Chad Money Minutes for those super chats. Thank you for supporting the channel and sponsoring today's show. So guys, if you're not already, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. Let me know if you have any video requests for my regular videos, as well as anything that you would like to chat about during our Sunday live streams. And for the members, I shared earlier that I am going to be investing a few $1,000s. I will share the details on that with you guys as I come up with my plan. And I'm taking a look at a comment here from Mark. What an incredible time to create wealth. I prayed the markets would give me another chance to take advantage of cheap investments and look at God. Don't panic. This is a hidden blessing. Yes, we're looking at it that way, and I feel that way, but at the same time, I understand everyone's pain. You know, Trump, his kids, his associates, they are rich and wealthy and don't have to worry about the regular day-to-day, the price of eggs, the car insurance, the car repair the parts for your car when you need your next repair. They're going to be able to get through that stuff seamlessly. But, you know, it's the regular people that my heart is hurting for, because I know times are tough already with rents being so high and so many of the basic necessities being so high right now. How are we going to manage with increased costs? But I'm going to continue to come up with a plan. I have some work to do tonight on it. I have gotten my taxes complete. I have to pay back, but it's not that significant. And I knew I was going to have to pay back something. So that'll probably be coming out. Well, that will be coming out on Friday, because I think taxes are due on Monday, right? Tax day is Monday. So yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And so those are my priorities now, making sure my checking account has that money ready to pay my tax bill, and getting my investment accounts built up with that extra money that I know I plan on investing. And, you know, if I was, some people look at it as if whatever you do, whether it's using that high yield savings account, using working overtime, whatever you do, the more you make, you're going to have to pay taxes. And so I'm not going to be intimidated by investing now. And then in a few years, if I have to let it go for the things that I need, that's why I've invested, is to make my money grow at a better potential. This is the goal that I had, and this is what I'm striving for, never to lose money, to make my money grow more. So I'm going to stay on that journey, and that's it. So guys, let me know if you guys have any questions, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been, I don't know, I'd say it's probably been a year and 3 months now that I've been doing my Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to be here every Sunday to chat with you guys live. And I have I have all of my retirement accounts and my daughter's accounts at Fidelity. And I have taxable accounts that I can tap into when I want to at Moomoo, as well as Webull. Those are the ones I use primarily. I do my $10 daily VTI challenge on Public, but I have links for all of those in my description if you guys are interested in opening a new account. And I also have channel membership. If you are interested in joining, check that out. Thank you. I'm not sure how to say it. Simon F. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Robinhood. I do not have a Robinhood account. I came into investing outside of my 401k in more recent years, and there were other platforms that I gravitated to and just never got on board with Robinhood. I've heard that it's very simple for beginners to navigate. I think Investing with Rod uses it in some of his live stream videos. He invests and shares his, how to make investments there. But about Robinhood, and I'm saying this from what I've heard from others, because not from personal experience. I've heard people say that they have issues with their stop loss when it comes to options trading, when it comes to Robinhood. But I would say that's the negative. But because I already had built up my portfolios elsewhere, it's just I have enough going on. I don't have a need to open up one at Robinhood. But they had some issues years ago prior to me being in the place to open an account. And actually, my first two accounts I opened up were at M1 and Webull, I believe. I've since closed my M1 account because of they were having some fees if you didn't have a $10,000 balance. So I decided, it was just recently, that was last year, I liquidated my account, and I believe I moved that money over to my Moomoo investing app. So in my account over on Moomoo, I've been more focusing on my dividend portfolio. So that's where I do my realty income, SCHD, SPHD, Main Street Capital. Those are my primary investments that I build up over there. My account on Webull, that's my growth portfolio. So I have my ETFs as well as my individual stocks. I have maybe about 19 positions in that portfolio. But it's the big name tech stocks. It's my Nvidia and Apple, Google, those type of things. So Simon, you're sharing that you want to move to Robinhood. Let's see, what's Tony saying? My only issue with Robinhood is I need to cancel my stop loss before selling. Okay. I'm not sure what Tony means by that. So I usually, because Moomoo actually has a trailing stop loss, but I've gotten accustomed to doing my options trading on Webull. So I am the trailing stop loss. I go in and I continue to move my stop loss to keep it in line with to keep myself further in profit as my investment moves up. So Rod is sharing, yes, I do prefer Fidelity, and most of my investments are there. Fidelity was showing my account number in video, so I use Robinhood primarily for the channel. Yes, I have that struggle too of how to balance, making sure that I don't accidentally share anything. That's why I usually try to do screenshots, and I don't invest on air, but I try to do a screenshot so that I can make sure to look at it and obscure anything. We have to be safe, but everything that I share is accurate. And there's so much scammers out here. Even a fellow YouTuber, Jumpman, a fake Jumpman was recently trying to scam me, sending me messages on Discord. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. But beware of that. I will never be sending anyone any private messages. You have to ask me anything. Ask me in a public, if we're in a mutual Discord, at me and ask me in a public chat. Ask me here on my YouTube videos, if you have any concern, if you're ever actually communicating with me. Because it's terrible with everything that we have going on. We don't need any additional stress from someone scamming us out of anything. Okay. So Simon says, I'm losing money and it's concerning. So Simon, make sure to evaluate your investments and really do the work to find out if you believe that in the long term they are going to recover, because it's not a loss until you actually sell and it is realized. So I am down in my positions, but I'm holding and adding to some of them, and just thinking about the long-term picture on my investments. Okay, so Tony's saying on options trading, if I buy a contract with stop loss, once I'm in profit and want to sell it, I must first cancel my order, then sell it. So you can't modify your order. That's what I mean. I continuously modify my order once I'm in profit in order to allow it to still kick me out. But if I want to start to add another 5, 10 and build up in order to make sure that I retain as much profit as possible. But I'm not familiar with Robinhood on how that would be on there, but that's what I do on Webull. I just continuously modify it. Oh, okay, you're saying yes. Okay, so I have had that issue with Robinhood. I use them in addition to Fidelity. I have never had that issue with Robinhood. I use them in addition to Fidelity. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Yes, you can, but in quick plays. Okay. All right. I saw something else. Let's see. I don't know if my batteries and my mouse are dying. I need to go to the store. Lisa is on point. Stay the course. I remember in 2008 when the market fell with the S&P rebound. I retired living off dividends. I stayed in the market buying securities, stocks. Okay. Yes. I know. Yeah, it's really hard, but when you hear someone sharing, their experience of staying invested and taking the opportunity of those hard times that we go through, you'll see that it's worth it. And if you haven't been investing long, it's harder to see the big picture of what staying committed for 10, 15, 20 years looks like. But in time, I believe that the U.S. stock market will always recover. I can't tell you when we'll get through this certain issue that we are going through right now. I have no idea, but I am going to make sure to position myself. One of my first videos that I did when I started this channel a little over 2 years ago, I was talking about recessions make millionaires, and they swoop in and they're going to buy all these stocks while they're pennies on the dollar and make sure to position themselves for the future. And, I'm no millionaire or multimillionaire when it comes to my finances, but I'm going to do what I can to the best of ability on the scale that my budget can allow for. So that's what matters. I don't take it lightly making small investments. The different investment platforms that I'm using, this is real money that I am investing, and this is important to me. But even with my daughter's account on Fidelity, she can invest as little as $1. Sometimes she only has $50 to invest. So we're going to put a 20 here and, $2 here and go about our investing plan based on whatever amount that we have on that particular day. And in time, I have seen all of my portfolios growing, whether it's the small amounts that I'm adding or the larger amounts. Obviously, they've all gained and thrived over time. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make that plan. I'm going to be sharing some updates with my members this week as I come up with more details on what I'm going to be doing. And guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for chatting. And I hope everyone here has given the video a thumbs up. I don't have a schedule as to when I put out videos, but have that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my videos or live streams. And I might be popping up again live sometime this week, because by going live, that saves me a little time on the editing and all of the work that I have to do throughout the week. But I appreciate you all, and I will see you next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.